Have you ever wondered how to light something up with any color you want? In this video, we're gonna show you how to do it and not be cheesy. This is a high-end look. This is what luxury homes die for. We're gonna show you the tricks of the trade. That's money, dude. What I wanna do is open this thing up, and then I wanna pour pretty much clear to the top, and then just go ahead and do a top coat that's translucent right there, but gives it some color, and then shine some light through it so it's like a giant kitchen nightlight. All I'm doing is just going through wherever there's bare spots now and having a little fun with it. If you're doing this for a customer, if this is what you do for a living, show your customers, you know, this video. Show them what it takes. It's gonna build value in your build. It's gonna bring, you know, something from, you know, a normal countertop to way over the top, and that demands value, right?
It does.
I mean, if you're gonna get a backlit piece of stone,
yes,
you're gonna pay some money. It can be done for as little as $20. You're not gonna believe how simple this hack is. It's a construction piece of gold. It's a gold nugget. We're gonna teach you all the steps right now. Guys, we are in a multi-million-dollar build. In this video, you're gonna learn step by step a countertop masterclass that will save or make you thousands. It'll also save 10x your time. Stay tuned. Everything is included right here, right now. You got this. Yeah, 12 to 15 is your typical overhang, but I'm gonna go arch here. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna arch it. I'm gonna put my 4-foot sheet right here. I'm sorry, right here, because you want your cantilevered piece, you want full, okay? And then this is fully supported. You're only gonna have 1.5 inch overhang, so you'll do your small piece on this side. Saw guide time. Okay, you ready? All right, pro tip on measuring. If you use your speed square right to your measurement, you don't have to put like a little line and then measure. It's perfect every time. All right, I want to cut something straight because this is going to be a seam to a factory cut on a piece of plywood. I want it really tight. And so I'm going to use my saw guide and get a perfect cut on site as if I brought a panel saw. But it's a lot cheaper than a panel saw. Heck, it's a lot cheaper than every saw guide on the market, and it's a straight cut every time. Let's go. I like that it doesn't move from my track, so when I'm trying to get around this stuff, look. Okay, your way?
8th my way.
Cool. All right, to do a 3-point arc where you get an arch in your countertop, you need 3 measurements. You need your center point and the apex of your arc, and then you need your 2 minor points or the low points on that arc. In this case, I have a 17-inch overhang on the high point and 12 all the way over here. That way I get really cool seating and just adds a little bit of an extra look. But remember, I have a post coming in, so that post is also going to be thrown in the mix. Let's see how this thing lays out. Let's try it. That looks pretty true.
Yeah, that looks great.
You like that? Guys, I'm getting the boss, which is AKA my wife. If any of you are doing remodel projects, here's how you get what you want approved. Make something that you don't want, ask your wife if she likes it, and then lead her to what you want, and because it's her idea, she'll say yes. Am I wrong?
No.
That was mean. All right, let's see if it works. This is what I wanted. Let's see what the wife says. Here we go. All right, what do you think? We need your professional opinion on this. We got an arch here, 4 legs, the whole thing. What do you think?
It's freaking awesome.
Okay.
I think it looks amazing.
All right, sweet. MDF time. All right, we're gonna double it up now. Type Bond 2 wood glue, MDF. Let's do this. All right, we flipped the island over and we're gonna go ahead and laminate the plywood to the MDF. We cut the MDF out and I grew it a little bit more. I didn't like that big jog in that you saw prior to that adjustment. We're gonna fill that in with some plywood. Another pro tip, we've stayed away from our 1.5 inch allowance. Reason we've done that is so when you rub your fingers underneath the countertop, you don't feel those screws. Again, that's why I like a rock face edge. That little lip does not matter. So guys, pro tip, lay your pieces down. I'm gonna trace the inside of my sink cabinet because our setback is different. We are gonna have an extra large setback because I grew this out because I didn't like the look of that step in. I'm gonna go ahead and draw that and then we're gonna dry fit our sink. After that, we're gonna possibly make a cut in this top so that I could have light come through and do like a translucent pour in there. I think that would look really cool having some light come through as if it was like a glowing crystal in your countertop. Now we'll get our template and we'll fit that template in there. I think I should go this way and instead of that way, right? A 1 1/4 overhang. So we want to catch that front lip. So you want to make sure that this lip is the same as your front edge. So I'm 6 7/8, 6 7/8. I like that right there. So I'll go ahead and make that my front edge. I like it.
Now that the sink has been laid out, use a drill bit in the 4 corners to create a perfect radius for the sink. Use a jigsaw or circular saw to finish your cuts.
So the little corners, we just have to sand to that.
Sand any saw marks out of the sink cut with 100 to 220 grit sandpaper. Use the sander or a router to round the top and bottom edges of the sink cutout. This encourages the epoxy to flow perfectly for a uniform sink edge.
Look at the difference right there. That's why you router. Look at how professional that looks. All we're gonna do here is just make a smooth edge with Bondo. We'll sand it, but I'll get it as smooth as I can with the spreader. We'll come back and sand it. Perfect.
I'm just using 220 grit sandpaper by hand so I don't burn through the top or bottom edge. I'm making that Bondo nice and smooth where my two pieces were laminated. That's gonna look really good. We used this sharp utility knife to make a rock face edge for this kitchen island. The process was really simple. At different angles and at different stroke lengths, cut the MDF around the perimeter of the island. These cuts can be rough and uneven. Keep from cutting the same pattern for a more natural look. When a granite slab has a rock face chiseled edge, there's never a uniform pattern. Mix up enough Bondo that you feel comfortable applying before that Bondo starts to cure. Start with small batches. Add in the hardener cream and mix per the manufacturer's instructions. Apply the Bondo with a gloved hand or a Bondo spreader. As the Bondo starts to thicken, add in some visual interest and remove any man-made look using your gloved hands. Allow the Bondo to dry before sanding down any sharp points with 100 to 220 grit sandpaper on a random orbital sander. Quick Coat Epoxy with a small amount of our epoxy thickener is what we are using to fill this MDF seam. The first step is to measure and mix Quick Coat for 2 minutes. Next, add in our epoxy thickener. Only a small amount is needed, then mix again to incorporate. Pour out the thickened epoxy over the seam. Keep the epoxy heavy over your seam. We will sand that back down perfectly flat when the Quick Coat dries. We can come back and sand in as little as 3 hours.
The radius, it looks like, because how we usually do it with the grinder, it's not as chattered. It's not, and that looks more chiseled, man.
Mm-hmm. It does. And it was pretty easy.
It's really easy. I just saturate my roller and do the edges first. This is something that you literally can do yourself, save thousands of dollars, have fun doing it, and if you want to change it up, you're not stuck with that color granite for time and all eternity because it didn't cost you your firstborn child. So if you want to change the look, not a problem. Change the look, no big deal. All right, guys, we'll let this dry and we're ready to coat. Guys, did you see the video a couple years ago for my showroom? I cut a piece out so that I could have LED light come through it. I like that concept, but I want to really conceal it. What I want to do is open this thing up, and then I want to pour pretty much clear to the top, and then just go ahead and do a top coat that's translucent right there, but gives it some color, and then shine some light through it so it's like a giant kitchen nightlight. If you're doing this for a customer, if this is what you do for a living, show your customers, this video. Show them what it takes. It's going to build value in your build. It's going to bring, something from, a normal countertop to way over the top, and that demands value, right?
It does.
I mean, if you're going to get a backlit piece of stone,
yes,
you're going to pay some money. That's freaking sick. All right, I'm grabbing some contact paper. What we're gonna do is use this as a release. I'm gonna put a Band-Aid underneath this countertop to hold the supercast from leaking. We're gonna create basically a river table here, and we're gonna use contact paper as the easy release. Here we go. Okay, hold it right there. Guys, we've used Tyvek tape, we've used wax, we've used silicone, all kinds of different releases. And shelf liner, it's definitely the cheapest way to go, and probably the most effective too. So you're finding that hot glue is just insurance, huh?
Yeah.
So that it won't leak, and then I'll Tyvek tape over that.
Oh, yeah, we're good there.
So we got 3 layers of protection. Here we go. Guys, we're using Supercast to refill this hole, and we're gonna fill this in one giant pour, not multiple layers. So this is designed to be poured thick. Our countertop material is designed to be poured 1/8 of an inch or less. This is a 2-to-1 ratio on the Supercast. 2 parts A to 1 part B. We're basically making a window.
Use masking tape to create a dam to keep your epoxy color techniques right in place. Remove the tape when the epoxy thickens 2 to 3 hours after mixing. This step is optional, but worth the effort. Your edges and countertop will look fantastic. We like to do 2 layers, keeping the tape above the surface, and 1 more row, sealing the bottom.
We're pouring in the wood shop. That's dangerous. It's not designated for pouring. As you can see, we've taken some time. We've covered the floor. We've covered our table. We got the countertop completely ready. We got the edges taped. We got the center taped right here. We're doing that because we want to do 2 pours and then meld them together. This one's going to be opaque. This one's going to be translucent. Let's try to hide that together, and we do it in one shot. But by putting that dam, it gives it equal pressure, so we're able to pour this, and then they meet in the middle at the old Georgia pine. All right, over here, we're gonna go ahead and mix our materials. We're gonna make sure we don't transfer mess from here to here. Everything is prior planning, preventing poor performance. If we're ready to go and we're not gonna trip and make a mess, don't get in a rush to mix that epoxy. Get your piece prepped, get it level, get ready to go, and you'll have a successful pour that's stress-free. Let's go. And then you can start mixing these.
You got dye in here too, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna start with the black and white base for the perimeter, and then I'm gonna add color in the center with the spray paint.
We are using Stone Coat's exotic pour color technique for today's island. This is the easiest way to make the most realistic looking Mother Nature made it marble countertops.
And it gets that propellant down there to help it sell.
Up, right. Cool.
Is this your light bucket?
Mm-hmm.
Randomly pour the tinted epoxy back into your larger mixing bucket. Take the time to spray some accent colors of spray paint between some layers. The Rust-Oleum spray paints, metallic powders, and epoxy dyes all fight one another to create a very beautiful countertop.
And I'm gonna do crisscross applesauce. I'm gonna move it in a random way, and then I come back with the dark bucket to fill in the blanks. Anybody can do this.
Yeah.
Pour out the large mixing bucket in a random pattern over your countertop. There's no need to be in a rush. Stone Coat Epoxy was designed for the DIYer and is very user-friendly. You have tons of time to work with the epoxy. There is even more time for that epoxy to self-level as smooth as a sheet of glass.
Wow. I really like having the contrasting buckets, man. Yeah, that's sick. All I'm doing is just going through wherever there's bare spots now and having a little fun with it.
Dang, that's a cool color. Woo. What's in there?
Some of that lagoon and black and a little bit of brass, man.
Folks, jump on over to the Epoxy Color Center. We have hundreds of color options. We hand selected these colors for the realistic and vivid results in your epoxy projects.
Same color family, different techniques.
Mike had a great idea here using the contrasting mini exotic pour cups made up of leftover epoxy and added small veins all over the island. Keep this technique in your back pocket. It was the cherry on top knocking this island out of the park. What you think, Mike?
That's money, dude. I like the dark on the light for the veins, man. Cobalt blue for the rescue, baby. Guys, we're trying to keep the interior part of this translucent, so I've put a little bit of ocean blue dye in. I'm gonna make an exotic pour that stays translucent. I hope this comes out. We have it lit so that we can see if we cover the light too much. We got the diamond dust. We got the blue. I'm doing a change up from our countertops. This is gonna be a contrasting piece. Let's see how it comes out. Think that's a pretty color for the middle? We got a translucent bucket. We're gonna pour that in the center right now. Guys, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? We teach tips, tools, and techniques to save you 10x your time and money. This is no joke. We're gonna teach you how to build islands, countertops, tabletops, desktops, floors, showers, waterfall features, rocks, and more. We have the knowledge that you need. These are gold nuggets to save you thousands. Let's pour.
Fully translucent.
Try to keep the drips out of it.
Oh, it's gonna be cool.
Okay, here we go. No time like the present.
This is one of my favorite techniques, and it adds the best layer of realistic detail. Mike is applying our granified effect. Use black gloss Rust-Oleum spray paint to fog sections of the island, followed by misting 91% isopropyl alcohol to fracture and seal the spray paint. Fog heavy or light for a different look. Tint the clear alcohol with any of our metallic powder colors.
I think I'm gonna call it. I like it.
We're gonna let this epoxy cure and come back in 3 hours to remove the tape dam. By then the epoxy will be thicker, the color techniques will stay right where you see them, but still flow over those edges nice and even. Use a popsicle or paint stick to scrape the bottom of the drips.
All right, I'm back. It's been about 3.5 hours. It's time to peel that tape. My tape dam has been extremely successful. It worked perfectly, not a single leak. Piece is looking great, Mike. Good job.
Lay it and then pick it. Go ahead.
It's time to remove any cured drips from the bottom of the countertop. Use a multi-tool like Mike here, or you can use a 50 grit metal fiber disc on a grinder, or even a random orbital sander.
Remember, all your pressure is going to the back elbow of the roller, so that as you roll away from the tip of your roller, you're automatically removing lap lines. That's the key, is we're gonna add enough water to let it thin out. We're gonna back roll, and I like to do it 2 or 3 times with brand new rollers. That way we remove those lap lines. It's a very tight finish. Basically, we're adding it heavy, and then we're working to remove all that heavy top coat. Why do we add it heavy if we want it thin? It's so we don't miss a section. If you apply it too thin, you actually skip sections and they'll stay shiny. These are all pro tips. This is how you apply the ultimate top coat. This is that final step that gives you depth, durability, a natural sheen. This top coat is my favorite on planet Earth, and it's what makes the Stone Coat Countertop system actually come to life. Here we go.
What I would have done.
Is that about what you would have done?
That is.
I'm gonna give myself a bead. Whoa.
Oh boy.
That's a lot. And I'm gonna give you a bead over here. Ready? I'll start down here and get away from you.
Good amount though, Mike, I think, on here.
Do those edges as you can. Okay, I'm gonna start back rolling the whole thing, okay? Wet roller, back rolling, just getting a consistent layer. Yeah, this is, I don't feel rushed.
No.
I feel like we got plenty of time. Yeah, now we're just going light. We're trying to remove material at this point. When you put that roller down on your elbow, you do not want to push too hard, guys. Yeah, look at how much tighter that gets it automatically.
Man, good consistency.
Okay guys, this is where the money happens right here. This is where you get a tight finish. Now I'm gonna start going with the grain, okay? I'm gonna start going with the grain pattern. And that way, nothing jumps out to the eye that this is man rolled. So that's really starting to get sticky, so I'm not gonna risk and dry roll again. I think I'm gonna call that good. That was not bad. I mean, we spent about an hour and a half on this morning, and it's gonna be ready to install tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is a showpiece, man. Guys, what do you think? What do you think this would cost in natural stone? Let me know in the comments below. You got this. I'll go 1 inch. Thanks, Matt. So doing LED lights, you know, it definitely throws an X factor into your build. you know, we overcame anything, but I'd say it's worth it, man. Good there. All right, let's get this thing squared up and I'll screw it in. All right, 2x2s slide up there and they catch the rim of that sink. You just come just a little bit below the sink and you never see them, but you know what? Your sink never comes down. Let's cut out a hole for the faucet. I like that sink in there, dude. This will be a nice food prep sink though. Wash your hand sink, 7 7/8, 7 15/16. Just kidding, it's perfect. All we're doing here, guys, is just running a bead of silicone around the perimeter just to lock this thing in place. If we ever want to move it, we would just score that, undo those 2 screws, and we would have this thing off in 5 minutes. Really fast install this way. And I'm using white tape on the rim. Sometimes on that delicate surface, it releases a little easier. It won't hurt your cabinet. But when you're really tooling this in, you want it to be strong.
We hope you learned some new epoxy techniques and DIY skills that will get you headed down the road to save thousands on your next DIY project with Stone Coat Epoxy. Thanks for watching, everybody, from Stone Coat Countertops. You got this, and we'll see you on the next video.